Hello, this is Julian with Coffee Reviews, and today we'll be doing another blind taste test rankings video. Now, the way these videos work, for anybody that's not seen one of our previous blind taste test rankings videos, is we have 7 cups of coffee over here, and we have 7 bags of coffee over here. We're trying to identify which of these cups is which of these bags based off of taste alone. Then we're going to be ranking them in order of our favorite to our least favorite. And there's a theme behind each and every one of these videos. And the theme behind this one is a showdown between my 2 favorite origins, as we have 4 Panamanian coffees and 4 Ecuadorian coffees. And I did want to give a shout out to longtime subscriber Howard, who once suggested a blind taste test rankings video featuring Panamanian geishas. So here we have that with some more added coffees as well. So even though it seemed like a joking suggestion, I'm happy that we actually had the opportunity to do one of these blind taste test rankings videos. All right, let's go ahead and introduce the coffees that we do have on the table, starting alphabetically by roaster. And first up, we have one coffee from Apollon's Gold, and that is the Pepe Jijon, the tyOxidator wash-processed Ecuador. Apollon's Gold, of course, based out of Tokyo, Japan. Next up, we have 3 coffees from Coffea Circulor out of Arendal, Norway. The first of which is the Deborah Terroir, a wash-processed Panamanian geisha. Next up, we have the Dilgo WX, a wash-processed Panamanian geisha. And then last, we have the Galo WX, a Ecuadorian geisha. Next up and last, we have Leuchtfeuer, based out of Wedel, Germany. And we have 3 coffees from them, the first of which being the Finca Lerida, a wash-processed Panamanian geisha. Next up, we have the Finca Soledad, the tyOxidator wash-processed Ecuador. And that's the other Pepe Jijon coffee we have on the table. Those are our 2 tyOxidator wash-processed Ecuadorian coffees. And then last up, we have the Lamastus Estate, a wash-processed Panamanian geisha. All right, let's go ahead and move these out of the way for right now to give us some more space. And as always, none of these cups are labeled anywhere except for on the bottom. We just like to shuffle them around for good measure, as it gives us an opportunity to discuss what we do have on our hands here today. And this one is very special, as we do have 5 geisha coffees, but in addition to that, we do have 2 Típica Mejorado coffees, as that's been my favorite variety over the course of the last year. But as I always say, Panamanian geishas are still my favorite coffee in the entire world, so it'll definitely be interesting to see how they all perform. I think the favorite might be either the Deborah Terroir, the washed Panamanian geisha, or the Galo geisha, also both from Coffea Circulor. And I think the main reason those 2 are probably our favorites is because they actually are the highest scoring coffees. Everything on this table is actually a 90 plus, so this is the most luxurious blind taste test we've ever done, topping our Pepe Jijon blind taste test from last year. And then I think the underdogs are probably actually going to be those Pepe Jijon coffees, mostly because they don't perform overly well in blind taste test videos. They usually take a little bit more work to get right. All right, so we're going to move all of these over here. Hit the mic. So that way we have some more space to work with this. We'll start with this one right here, cup number 1. And I think this is the biggest blind taste test we've ever done, so that's why I have significantly less space than I normally do. Coffee number 1. And I do think it's going to be easy to distinguish which coffees are the Pepe Jijon coffees. I bring that up because this one right here, I feel like is one of the Pepe Jijon coffees. It's actually quite nice though. Of course, it was my favorite coffee of last year. So I'm enjoying this one, and I'm going to put it in first place for right now. That's going to be the one that I'll need to differentiate between the Apollon's Gold or the Leuchtfeuer coffee. So I don't necessarily have a good guess because this is my first time trying any of these coffees. So I know it's one of the Pepe coffees. Don't know which roaster, but we'll move on right here to cup number 2. Okay, this one right here definitely is one of the Coffea Circulor coffees, but that's where it's going to get really tricky to try to differentiate which one it is. It's very vibrant, and I actually surprisingly think I like the first one a little bit more. So when I was brewing the coffees, the Coffea Circulor coffees definitely had much more of a strong, vibrant aroma to them. So that's why I imagine that they're going to be the most vibrant coffees that we do have on this table. That's why I imagine that this is one of the Coffea Circulor coffees. I have an early guess, but I'm not positive on it. But as of right now, this coffee is my favorite. Cup number 3. This is the other Pepe coffee. Actually, this is going to trip me up a little bit. It might not be. I might stand corrected. It did have a slightly savory aspect to it, and I imagine that the Pepe coffees might have that ever so slight savoriness to them. That's been my experience with them in the past. So as of right now, I will put this one right here in third place. So far, I tried my favorite first, and we're moving down the line to cup number 4. This one right here, I do believe is going to be one of the other Panamanian geishas, and I do believe that I like this one a little bit more than the previous coffee we had just tried. So I'm going to put that right there for right now in third place, and we still have 3 more coffees, so we'll move on to this cup number 5. Yeah, this is actually going to be a little bit more tricky than I expected. This, in theory, should be the most difficult blind taste test video we've ever done. Okay, I do like this one. I imagine that this is yet another one of these Panamanian geishas, which doesn't really help me too much. I'm going to still move it up to 4th place for right now, and we're gonna run through it one more time, as well as make some guesses, of course. And we have cup number 6. This one right here should be the other Pepe coffee. And I think as of right now, it might be my least favorite. I'm still thinking on it because, as mentioned, I'm now running through quite a few coffees and it does get a little tricky, but here we have our final coffee, cup number 7. Okay, this one is definitely one of the other Coffea Circulor coffees. I think that this one right here is the Deborah Terroir. It's actually quite nice. This one actually might be my favorite. And I did say that it was the favorite going into this video, but I'm going to move it all the way up to 1st place for right now. And as I mentioned, the reason I'm willing to make that guess is because the Coffea Circulor coffees did have the most vibrancy when brewing them, and that was a slight giveaway to which ones might end up being those Coffea Circulor coffees. All right, so here's the rankings off of the first try. So we're going to start with my least favorite so far. I'm much more confident that this is one of the Pepe coffees. I'm not entirely sure which roaster it is. And whenever I get to the next one, it has that sweetness though at the end, and that's what's kind of redeeming this one. It's really improving on the second run through, so I might bump that one up. We'll see how it compares to this coffee. This one is the most moderate and tame, I think, on this entire table. I actually don't feel bad if I get all of these wrong, because it's a very difficult blind taste test. Even if I have as long as I have the Ecuadors with the Ecuadors and the Panamas with the Panamas, then I'll be happy at least. So I'm pretty sure that this is one of the Panamanian geishas. I think I have an idea on what both of these coffees are, but I am going to move this one up for right now. I think and imagine this one might be the Lerida geisha. And it is technically the lowest scoring coffee that we do have on this table. It's still very nice. It just may not necessarily have the same sort of vibrancy as some of the other ones here. Let's see how it compares to this coffee now. This one right here is also a little bit more mild. I do think that this is probably going to be one of our other Panamanian geishas, but let's see here. I'm willing to move the coffee up a little more right now. I'm not necessarily sure I want to take a guess on that one yet, but I think that these might be then, if I remember correctly. I don't remember where I placed the first Pepe coffee. This one again is definitely one of the Panamanian coffees. I think I'm going to once again move up the Pepe coffee, which I assume is the Pepe coffee. I really want to try them side by side too. And this one right here is definitely that Ecuadorian geisha, and I'm 100% confident in that because, as I mentioned, it had the most strong vibrancy to it. How do I describe it? It's almost natural-like. Like, it's not the cleanest. Out of all the coffees on this table, ironically, I feel like this one might be the least clean one because it does have a slight fermentiness to it. So that's why I'm confident on that one, but I'm still wondering where the other Pepe coffee went. And there it is. Okay. So I know I'm shuffling this around a lot. I think that these are the two Pepe coffees. I think I like that one a little bit more. I think I might be happy with the rankings, as this one was probably my favorite. This one's definitely my favorite. This is a wonderful coffee. And the reason it stands out is because it has the most vibrancy while still offering that immense Panamanian geisha-like clarity. So I'm pretty confident that one is the Deborah Terroir. Okay, I'm pretty confident that these two are the Pepe coffees. I think this one right here is probably the Leuchtfeuer one. Because I think that the Apollon's Gold might be roasted slightly lighter, and that's why I might be getting slightly more savoriness from it. So I think that that's the Apollon's Gold Pepe. I really don't have a lot of space for these. This one I thought was the Galo WX, the Ecuador from Coffea Circulor. I'm actually gonna put this one up front since it's small. And so I have some more space here in the back. And that leaves two left, and I have absolutely no problem if I got these two flip-flopped. I don't really have a good way of trying to guess or differentiate between which one's which. And to be honest, all three of the last ones could be interchanged. I think this is probably the Coffea Circulor coffee. And it has a little bit more of that slight kind of, how is it described to be, spice-like quality. So I'm going to guess that this is the Dilgo WX. And then this would be the Finca Estate. I'm not necessarily overly happy with that guess, but yes, here's where at least the coffee's finished. But let's find out how I did on the guesses. And once again, I just honestly hope I got the Ecuadorian coffees right. All right, let's start with our 7th place finisher. And this one right here I said was the Finca Lerida from Leuchtfeuer. So it should say LFL if that's correct. And let's see what we've got. Oh, wonderful. That's actually a really good start. All right, so not necessarily humiliating myself yet, but I was right on that one. As I mentioned, the only reason I even guessed that it was this coffee is because this is the only, I think, 90 scoring coffee on this table. Everything else scores higher. I'm positive on the Ecuadorian coffees that they're at least the Ecuadorian coffees. So that did help me narrow it down, and I guess we're gonna move on. I'm feeling much more confident now. Hopefully that's not taken away from me with this one. This one right here I said was the Coffea Circulor Dilgo coffee. Yes, so this one right here should say CD. Yes, CDI. Yes, all right, I'm very happy so far. 2 for 2. All right, let's move on. That means I'm very positive on this one. This one right here should be the Leuchtfeuer Alida, so it should say LL for Lamastus. And yes. Okay, there's the potential for me to go 7 for 7 on this, and that's actually really exciting. I'm 100% confident on this one, and the main reason is because of when I was brewing it, it did come out a lot more vibrant. So this one right here should say CG for Coffea Circulor Galo, and yes. All right, 4 for 4 so far. And if I'm going to get this wrong, here's where I'm going to get this wrong. So these are the two Pepe coffees, and I've been saying that since the start, and this one right here I guess was the Apollon's Gold one, mostly because it just felt like it might be a little lighter. So let's see here. A, and then this one's the Pepe, so AP for Apollon's Gold Pepe. Dang it. Okay, close. I was close. It is the Finca Soledad, so it is one of the Pepe coffees. And that means that I do like the Apollon's Gold one a little better, and that the, let's see here, yeah, AP. So Apollon's Gold Pepe. I had these two flipped. I was so close, darn. Okay, well, I was bound to miss one at least, or a couple, so it looks like I like the Apollon's Gold one a little better than the Leuchtfeuer one, so we're going to go ahead and switch these, as that means that I did get the last coffee correct, and that means I went 5 for 7, but this one right here is the Coffea Circulor and the Deborah Terroir, so it should say C and then D/T. Yep, and that is correct, so 5 for 7. All things considered, that's not bad in any capacity, but this is the way that they finished. I'm really surprised by the results. I'm really surprised that the Pepe coffees finished as high as they did, but to me it just seems like the Panamanian gestas might need a little bit more work, a little bit more time. For context, this Apollon's Gold coffee is on day, I think it's either 45 or 46, so it's just reached its rest period. The Coffea Circulor coffees are on day 17, and then the Leuchtfeuer coffees are on day 15. So they're all just at the starting point for all these coffees, so they should definitely change as we are reviewing them. But of course, we're going to have a review for each and every one of these coffees, so stay tuned for all of those. And yeah, I'm gonna leave this one though at that. If you guys do enjoy these blind taste test rankings videos, and give this video a like. These are by far the most fun to do, but they take the most amount of effort by a significant margin. And if you guys are just enjoying the content in general, then also give this one a like. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. This right here has been a blind taste test rankings video featuring my 2 favorite coffee origins. Thank you for watching.